Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to the Stink Bug Works. Today I'm finishing up the blueprinting here on the systems. Now, blueprinting a hull is kind of the way Steven Spielberg looks at making a movie. It's never really quite done. It's good enough to present, but there's always something else. Like, I've got 99% of these edges up to where I like to call them, they're on the molecular level, where you have a layer of molecules going up here, and there's one molecule on the edge, and then it turns. But there's a little spot here that fails the molecular test. It won't, you'd have to rub this real hard to draw blood. This will draw blood right now. So most of this is at the molecular level, but here's the deal. This is an old vacuum formed plastic hull. If I were to go do big B speeds with this, it wouldn't survive. So this has to be tamed down a little bit. And with that in mind, at what point is all this blueprinting good enough? And I've decided at this point right now, this blueprinting is good enough. So I got me a little head. Everybody should get a little head every now and then, right? So I've mounted the motor. The motor is in here rock solid. I mixed up some epoxy really thick with milled fiberglass to where you can actually see the fiberglass, and made a nice little pad in there so any shock loads will get spread out. You know, it was these vacuum formed plastic boats that first got people into laying carbon fiber in the bottom, and then guys in their fiberglass boats started doing the same thing. In these plastic boats, it's a requirement. If you're mounting stuff on this really thin plastic, it's I mean, look how flimsy this stuff is. Fiberglass hulls don't, well, some really thin ones do, but this stuff's pretty flimsy, so you can't really rely on it for strength. This kit, if you look in here, you can see it had plywood frames, and there's a plywood frame that runs down the center here. There's a plywood frame that runs down the stringer here. There's a plywood bulkhead here. So there was a lot of internal strength in this thing from the factory to keep it from collapsing. But, you know, as you put more and more power in these things, you've got to do more. So that's why the carbon fiber floor and the carbon fiber in the battery trays, plus it makes it a lot stiffer. Oh, I just lost my head. Oh dear. Anyway, that's the status of that. I've been contemplating the long hard shaft challenge, and I may throw in some additional prizes, but I want to make some good prizes for you guys so I can get you out there competing. You know what? One of the methods of construction you guys might consider, and I haven't seen too much of it, is this Depron stuff. You know, the indoor 3D guys, even the outdoor 3D guys, make airplanes out of this stuff, and they work real well. And I've heard of guys making little riggers out of Depron that are just crazy fast. So anyway, just a quick update. I'm still working away on it. The blueprinting is just about done. It's just about ready for its final coat of primer and then into the waiting shop. And then we'll pull out the next project. Until then, jet out.